If you're an aspiring educator, that Praxis reading exam can feel like this huge, intimidating mountain to climb. But what if I told you we could turn that test anxiety into a clear, confident action plan? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break down how to conquer this test, step by step. First things first, let's get the basic numbers out of the way. You're going to be facing 56 selected response questions. Yeah, think multiple choice, but with a few twists here and there. And you've only got 85 minutes to cackle all of them. Now, if you do the math, that's roughly a minute and a half per question. That tells you everything you need to know. This test is a game of both speed and accuracy. So this really is the big question, isn't it? This test is the gateway to your career. How do you conquer it? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's not about memorizing a bunch of facts. It's about having the right strategy. And here is our 5-part game plan to get you there. We're going to crack the code of the exam, master the types of questions they'll throw at you, arm you with some winning reading strategies, help you build a personalized study plan, and finally, point out the common mistakes so you can avoid them. All right, let's jump right into section 1, cracking the Praxis code. Before you can win the game, you have to understand the rules, and that means understanding the blueprint of this exam. So what is this test actually measuring? Well, according to the people who make it, it's all about how well you can understand, analyze, and evaluate the kind of text you'd come across in your daily life as an educated person. And this brings us to the single most important rule of this entire exam. No outside knowledge is required. Every single answer is right there in the passages they give you. Now, let's look at where the points come from. Key ideas and details, and integration of knowledge and ideas. Together, they make up a whopping 70% of your score. That is a massive signal telling you exactly where to focus your study time. It's not just about what the text says, but how all those ideas connect and build on each other. Okay, moving on to section 2. Knowing the test structure is a great start, but now we need to get more granular. We need to master the specific types of questions you're going to see. You can basically sort all the questions into 2 big buckets. On one side, you've got your content questions. These are pretty straightforward. They ask, what did the text say? On the other side, you have analysis questions. These are a little trickier. They ask what the text does. What does the author imply? What's their tone? You kind of have to read between the lines for these. And these question types test a whole range of skills. You'll be identifying main ideas, hunting down specific details, and drawing logical inferences. But you'll also have to figure out an author's purpose, evaluate their arguments, and sometimes even interpret charts and graphs. And now for the really good stuff. Section 3 is all about your tactical toolkit. We're moving from what the test is to how you're going to beat it with some proven winning strategies. This quote from the official study companion just nails it. The goal isn't just to be a speed reader, it's to read with purpose. It's about being both careful and quick, and believe me, those 2 things don't have to be opposites. So, here it is, a simple but incredibly powerful 3-step approach for every single passage you see. Step 1, preview the questions first. This gives your brain a roadmap of what to look for. Step 2, read the passage actively, not just letting your eyes glaze over. And step 3, this is key. When you look at the answer choices, don't hunt for the right one. Instead, look for the wrong ones and eliminate them one by one. Okay, so what does active reading actually feel like? Well, one super powerful technique is the paragraph summary method. It's simple. After you read each paragraph, just pause for a second and mentally summarize its main point in a few words. This forces you to stay locked in, and it prevents that awful feeling of getting to the end of a long passage and having no clue what you just read. And to help with that, you can use a little mental framework like this one. For each paragraph, just ask yourself, okay, what's the topic? What's the main idea? What are a couple of key details that support it? And what's the author's purpose here? This turns reading from a passive chore into an active investigation. All right, you've got the tactics, you've got the tools. Now we need to put it all together into a real game plan. Section 4 is all about structuring your preparation so you get the biggest bang for your buck. The official ETS guide lays out a really clear 4-step path. First, learn what the test covers, which, hey, we're doing right now. Next, assess what you already know. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? Then, gather your study materials. And finally, and this is probably the most important part, practice with timed tests to get used to the pressure. And to make this real, you've got to create a personalized study plan. I mean, look at this example.
Be honest with yourself. If you struggle with figuring out an author's tone, then that's where you need to dedicate more time and find the right resources. This is how you study smarter, not just harder.
And here's another tip. Beyond all the practice tests, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to just build a daily reading habit. Spend 20 or 30 minutes every day with the kind of dense, nonfiction texts you'll see on the exam. It's like strength training for your brain, getting it used to processing complex ideas quickly. We are in the home stretch now. Let's talk about our final section, the common mistakes you absolutely have to avoid. Seriously, knowing what not to do can be just as important as knowing what to do. Okay, if you remember one thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. The number one pitfall is using outside knowledge. I don't care if you have a PhD in the topic of the passage. Your personal knowledge is completely irrelevant. The text on the screen is your only source of truth. If you can't point to a line in the passage that backs up your answer, it's the wrong answer. End of story. And here are a few other easy ways to lose points. Rushing through a passage and totally missing the point. Ignoring those critical little keywords in the question like except or not that completely flip its meaning. And finally, wasting precious time rereading the whole passage for every single question. Don't do it! So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. Success on the Praxis reading exam isn't some magic trick. It's about careful, meticulous preparation and a disciplined, systematic process of knocking out wrong answers based only on the evidence in front of you. You now have the blueprint. You have the tools. The only thing missing is action. So I'll leave you with a question to get you started. What is the very first step you are going to take in your study plan today?